Greetings, math fans. All right, so this is your final exam review packet, and I promised you I would do a video, so I will go through it relatively quickly, and hopefully it explains any questions that you guys have. All right? Okay, a times a, you guys, some of these are really basic, but a times a is a squared. Okay, remember you add the exponents, right? So it's a squared. So if it was, I don't want to digress here, but if I had like a to the fifth times a to the seventh would be a to the 12th, right? Okay, a plus a is 2a. If you have one a, I hand you another a, you've got two a's. Hopefully you get lots of those in your test. Okay, this one, if you use your calculator, you're smart because then you won't make a mistake. What's going on is this is actually saying 3 to the 0 power, which is 1, and then that negative is in front of it. So it's really, the answer is -1. Okay, your calculator would give you that same answer. Okay, if this was -3 to the 0 power, and you put that in your calculator, that would give you +1. So this case here, it's -1. So that x to the 0 only touches the x, and then it's times 3. So it's 3 times 1, which is 3. Okay, so this one's 2 to the 4th power, a cubed to the 4th power, b to the 4th power. Okay, 2 to the 4th power, I don't care, you put it in your calculator, that's fine, it's 16. Okay, and remember you multiply when you raise it to a power. So that's a to the 12th, and then that's just b to the 4th. Okay, the next one, this is the absolute value of 5 is 5, and then it becomes -5 because there's a negative on the outside of the absolute value. Okay, I'm going to do everything in the inside of the absolute value first. So -4 minus 3 is -7. Then I'm going to do the absolute value. So it's the absolute value of -7 is 7. And then I'm going to take the negative of that, so my answer is -7. Okay, this one, you can put everything in your calculator as long as you use lots of parentheses. That's cool. Okay, so you would say 7 minus 4 squared, which is 16, over 9 minus 6. So again, I'm kind of just splitting this up, but if you put it all in your calculator in one shot, you could do it. But you get 7 minus 16 is -9, and 9 minus 6 is 3. So -9 over 3 is -3. Okay. Again, that negative is not inside the parentheses, so it's actually 6 squared, which is 36, and then you put a negative in front of it. Okay, so this is a to the 1/3 of the 6th. Remember, you multiply those, so it's a, and that's basically 1/3 times 6. And I don't care if you put that in your calculator, but that it's 1/3 of 6 is 2, so the answer is a squared. All right. Anything with a negative exponent goes to the other side of the fraction. The only thing that's touching that -10 is the x, so the 3 stays on top, and you get x to the 10th in the bottom. Okay, this one, remember, you multiply the 3 times 4, which is 12, and you add the exponents. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so x to the 3rd. -3 plus 0 is -3, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So if I simplify it, anything with a negative exponent goes to the other side of the fraction. So the 12 is on top, the x cube's there, the y goes to the bottom, and the z just cancels out because it's 1. And that's your final answer. Okay, this one is -4 over 12. That reduces to -1/3. And that x to the 7th goes up, so it becomes x to the 10th on top. The y's, I'm just going to switch them now. So it's y cubed, and then y to the 5th. And the w's cancel because they're both w to the 4th. So now I do a battle with the y's, so I get -x to the 10th, and who wins? The bottom by 2. So 3y squared. That's your answer. Okay. We keep going here. This is evaluate, and guys, I'll tell you, man, wherever you see a variable, use a parenthesis and use your calculator. It's so easy. Okay, so literally you're going to type in -2, and wherever there's a parenthesis, you're going to put or where there's an x, you put a parenthesis. So 3 parenthesis plus 7. And again, if you put a -3 in here, and you just put this directly in your calculator, you will get -2. Okay, it's the same thing with this one. I'm not even going to write it out, but you'll get -51. Okay? All right, next one is solving. These are really basic ones to solve, guys. You've done this many times, so I'm going to go through it quickly. Subtract 2, negative 3x equals negative 14. Divide by 3, x is positive 14 thirds. Okay, this one, I'm going to move it. I like having 2x minus 3 equals 17. The variable on the left side, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So 2x equals 20, divide by 2. X equals 10. Okay, and this one I'm going to distribute first. So I get 2x minus 8 equals 9 minus 3x minus 2. Combine like terms, so 2x minus 8 equals 9 minus 2 is 7, so 7 minus 3x. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides and add 8 to move the 8 over. So you wind up getting over here 5x is equal to 15, and then divide by 5, so x equals 3. Okay? Multiply both sides by 4 over 1. And again, you can put that all in your calculator, and you'll get x equals 18. Okay, solve and graph. These are solving with inequalities. Remember, when you divide by negative, you flip the inequality sign. That's important. That's the biggest thing here. So divide by negative 4. So because x is less than or equal to negative 5. So at negative 5, it's a solid dot, and it's pointing that way. Remember, it always points the same direction as the inequality. Okay, that's why the variable has to be on the left side and the number has to be on the right side. Okay, so the next one, subtract 5. So 3x is less than or equal to 15. Divide by 3. X is less than or equal to 5. So put a 5 there. It's a solid dot, and it also points that way. Okay. This one, move the x's over. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides and subtract 3 from both sides. So I get positive x, 1x, is less than negative 2. And you're done, actually. So negative 2 is here. It's an open dot, and it points this way, same as the inequality. Okay. I'm going to distribute that 3, so I get 5x minus 10 is greater than 3x plus 12. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides and add 10 to both sides. So 2x is greater than 22, divide by 2. X is greater than 11. So here's 11, and it's greater than, so it's an open dot, and it points that way. Okay, we're cruising through here, guys. It's an and problem. Remember, and means where it overlaps. You've got to remember that. And is where it overlaps. So you kind of have to do a temporary graph in order to even get the final solution here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 2x is less than 8 divided by 2. So x is less than 4. And this one's already solved. So if I graph it, here is 4 and here's 5, greater than or equal to 5, and less than 4. Where does it overlap? It doesn't overlap, so this is no solution. Okay, here, let's try another one here. I just have to divide this one by negative 3. Don't forget, when you divide by negative, you flip the inequality sign. So negative 4. So if I graph it again, temporary graph, here's negative 4 and here's negative 3. Greater than negative 4, less than or equal to negative 3. So my answer is between negative 4 and negative 3. So it's between these values. Okay? If you want to write it out that way, you can write it out as an and. You can just say x is less than or equal to negative 3 and x is greater than negative 4. Or you can actually write it as between. Sometimes they'll ask you both ways, negative 4 and negative 3. Okay? Now it's an or problem. Or problem means wherever the line is, that's the solution. So I can divide by 3, so x is greater than 2, and I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So x is less than 4. So again, temporary graph. Here's 2 and here's 4. Greater than 2 and less than 4. So where do I see a line? I see a line everywhere. Here, 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 here. So this one is all real numbers. Okay, so the arrow would look like this, all real numbers. Okay. All right. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, so negative x is greater than or equal to 5 divided by negative 1. X is, remember, switch the inequality sign. So x is less than or equal to negative 5, and this one I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I get x is greater than 6. So it's an OR. So let's do a temporary graph, negative 5 and 6. So greater than 6 and less than or equal to negative 5. So this is actually the answer, guys. It's an OR problem, so it's where we see a line, and so that is actually my answer for my graph as well. Okay. Okay, let's keep going down here. It's a solve and show your answer, no graph required. Okay, no big deal. So I'm going to add, this is a between problem, so I'm going to add 1 to all sides. So I get negative 4 less than 4x less than or equal to 8 divided by 4. So negative 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. That's it. That's your answer. Okay. This one, remember guys, you want to put your variable on the left side. So I'm going to write it as 3x. See how it's pointing to the 3x? So pointing to the 3x to rewrite it. So I'm going to divide by 3. X is less than negative 2. And this one just divide by 2. So x is greater than or equal to 5. And it's an OR. So that's my answer. They're not asking you to do anything else, just to come up with an answer. Actually, I do need to graph it though to check to see what's going on. So this is negative 2. This is 5. So greater than or equal to 5 and less than negative 2. So this was, we're good to go. This is my answer. Okay, absolute value equations. You're going to have usually 2 answers. Okay, so remember, it's once you solve the absolute value, you got to solve the absolute value. Once you solve it, then you set each of those equal, like, let me just show you. 5x equals 25 and 5x equals negative 25. Right, positive, negative of that right number. Divide by 5, so x is 5. Divide by 5, x is negative 5. Those are your 2 answers. Okay, number 31 is not solved yet for the absolute value, so I have to add 2 to both sides first. So absolute value of x plus 4, is equal to 7. And then I set up 2 equations. X plus 4 equals 7, and x plus 4 equals negative 7. So subtract 4, x equals 3, and subtract 4, x equals negative 11. So those are your 2 answers. Okay. This one's already solved, so it's going to be 2 minus x equals 7, and 2 minus x equals negative 7. Okay, subtract 2, so negative x equals 5, and then divide by negative 1, so x equals negative 5. And same thing with this one, subtract 2, so negative x equals negative 9, divided by negative 1, x equals 9. So negative 5 and 9. Okay, and then this last one, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So you get absolute value 2x minus 1 equals negative 4. Okay, it's isolated, and since that's negative, it is no solution. Very important. Okay, if that was a positive, then you set up 2 problems. Okay, so far so good. This one just says just set up an equation. So you're going to see a problem like this in the final. The cost of renting a warehouse to play paintball is $200. Each paintball gun is $5 to rent. If X represents the number of paintball guns you need to rent, and Y represents the total cost of the outing, write a linear equation modeling the total cost of the outing. So here's the deal. This is a fixed cost. Let me highlight this. This is a fixed cost. This is a variable cost, which means my equation is going to be Y equals, that's the total cost of going out there, $5 for each gun, so 5 times X, because X is the number of paintball guns you're going to rent, and plus the $200 to rent it. And that's the answer to this problem. Okay? Number 35, the cost of renting a Jeep is $25 a day and 20 cents a mile. Clint has budgeted $34 for the day. The equation for this problem is y equals 0.2x, right? That's the 20 cents a mile plus the $25 a day. How many miles can he drive the car? So you're literally just setting this equal to 20 or $34. So 0.20x plus 25 is equal to 34. That's all you're doing. Because you're saying, hey, I got $34, how many miles can I go? So I'm going to subtract 25 first, so I get 0.20x is equal to 9, and then divide by 0.20. Okay, so you get x equals 45 miles. Okay? All right, chapter 3, it's graphing lines, right? So here we go. Given this the equation, y equals 3x minus 21, what is the y-intercept of the slope? Again, it's super easy. You guys better get this, okay? This is your y-intercept, and that's your slope, right? The one in front of the x, so it's 3. Super easy. Okay. Number 37, find the slope. Remember, with the slope, you got to use the ox. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? You got to, it's the y's over the x. You got to do that. Okay, and I told you how to do that back in the day. You put your negative signs in there first, and then you put your y. So y2, it's negative 3 and 5, and then the x's are 2 and 1. Okay, so we get negative 8 over 1, so my slope is negative 8. Okay, so another one here. Draw your line. So we're going to put 10 and negative 2, and negative 5 and 3. So that's plus, again, I don't care, use your calculator, it's fine. So it's 12 over negative 8, which reduces to negative 3/2. Okay, so these next two problems, I'm just going to show them both here. Again, I'm looking for the slope. And you should see that the x is the same. So if the x is the same, that means it's going to be a vertical line. That means the slope is undefined. Now let's do it mathematically. So m equals, so it's going to be y2 minus y1, so negative 5 and 6 and 2 and 2. So we get negative 11 over 0. And you guys should remember, negative 11 over 0, it's undefined. If you type in your calculator, you get an error. Okay, so it's undefined. This one, the y is the same. So again, you guys should recognize that this is a horizontal line, so it's going to be a slope of 0. But if I put it in my calculator, or put in the equation, I should say, I get negative 1 and negative 1, and 5 and 3. So that's plus, so that gives you a 0 on top and 2 on the bottom, and 0 over anything is 0. Okay, 0, remember, undefined. Undefined, so that would be undefined is 0 on the bottom, and 0 on top is actually 0. Okay. Okay. So are the following pairs of lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Remember, parallel means same slope. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal. So opposite reciprocal is like if I said 2/3, it would be negative 3/2. So it's got to be opposite, different sign, and flipped. Okay, for all these though, you got to solve for y first. It's the only way you can do it. You got to look at the slope. So if I solve for y, I'm going to subtract 3x. I get 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 6, and divide by 2. So y comes out to be negative 3/2 x plus 3. And this one I just have to divide by negative 4. So y is equal to, if I reduce that, negative 3/2 x minus 7/4. Okay, I don't even care about this y-intercept. I only care about the slope. So I have negative 3/2 and negative 3/2. So this one is parallel. Okay, pretty easy. The next that one's already solved. So that slope is 2. This one I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Oops. So I get negative 6y equals negative 3x plus 24. Divide by negative 6. So y is 1/2 x minus 4. So once again, your slope is -2, and the slope is 1/2. They're reciprocals, but they're not opposite. So this one is neither. Very important, okay? Okay, and then the last one, I'm going to divide everything by 4. So that's really 1/4. So the slope there is 1/4. So here I'm going to write out y equals 1/4 x minus 2. And this one I'm going to subtract 8x. So 2y equals 8x plus 6 divided by 2. So y equals 4x plus 3. I lost my negative there. So negative 4x plus 3. Okay, so if you look at it, it's positive 1/4 and negative 4. Those are opposite and reciprocal, so these are perpendicular. Perpendicular. There we go. Okay, so that's what you got to do. All right, cool. Let's keep going on. Okay, so now what they're asking you guys to do is to write an equation of the line in the following problem. So I'm giving you a slope and I'm giving you y-intercept. Again, super, super easy. Remember, it's just y equals, slope is -3, y-intercept is 5. So -3x plus 5. Super easy. Okay, so now I'm giving you 2 points. So remember, you got to do a little bit of work here. You got to find the slope first, and then you have to find the y-intercept. So the slope is y2 minus y1, so 2 and 3, and 5 and 6. So it's -1 over -1, so my slope is 1. And then I use one of these points, I'll use this guy right here, it's a little bit smaller, to find b. So y equals m times x plus b. So 2 is equal to 5 plus b, subtract 5, b is -3. Okay, so you got everything, you get your slope. So it's the equation is y equals 1x, or x, minus 3. Okay, pretty straightforward. Again, I'm looking for an equation. So I'm telling you it's perpendicular to this line. So if it's perpendicular, that slope, a slope perpendicular to it is opposite, which means negative, reciprocal, which means 3. So my slope is -3. And it passes through 3 9, so you got to find b. So y equals m times x plus b. So 9 is equal to -9 plus b. I add 9 to both sides. So b is equal to 18. So there you go. Slope is -3, b is 18. So my equation is y equals -3x plus 18. Okay? All right, this next one, the slope is -4 because it's parallel to it. So same slope. So the slope is -4. And again, it's passing through the points. So I got to find b. I'm always looking for b. Okay, so y equals m times x plus b. So 3 is equal to -20 plus b. Add 20 to both sides, so b is 23. So the equation of y is equal to -4x plus 23. Okay. Again, this is pretty easy. This one, I just give you the slope. So I got to find b. So y equals m times x plus b. So -7 equals, it's a -2 here, right? So it's 8 plus b, and subtract 7 from both sides. So b is equal to 1. Am I good with that? Oh, what am I doing? I'm subtracting 8 from both sides. Trying to solve for b, sorry. Okay, so b is -15. There we go. So b is -15, so my equation is y is equal to -2x minus 15. Okay. Graph the lines. You guys should know how to graph lines, okay? You graph the y-intercept first, so -3. And then you go up 4 and over 1. So up 4 over 1. And then you graph it. Okay, this one you gotta, You can definitely solve for y, or you can do an x and y intercept. If I do an x-intercept, you set y to 0. So 3x equals 15. Divided by 3, x is 5. So 5, 0. And set for the other one, set x to 0. So you get negative 5y equals 15. Divided by negative 5. Y equals negative 3. So 0, negative 3. It's just another way to do it. Again, I could solve for y, and that would be the same thing, and you would graph it. But by having my intercepts, here's 5, 0, and here's 0, negative 3. And there's your graph. Okay, not bad. Okay, we're halfway done here. Man, you guys should be able to graph these like so easily. Y equals 3. It's a horizontal line, man. Boom. X equals negative 2. Vertical line. Boom. Remember I call these BAM problems. They're fast. Okay, you should know how to do that. For the following graphs, determine if the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay, of course, this one it's a vertical line like this, so this one's undefined slope. This one is going downhill, so it's a negative slope. This one's horizontal line, so it's a 0 slope, and this one's going uphill, so it's a positive slope. Okay. All right, chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4, this was systems of equations. Okay, so the sum of two numbers, remember sum means add, so it's x plus y is equal to 28, and their difference is 6, so x minus y equals 6. All right, and then this one's nice because things cancel using elimination method, okay, and so the y's cancel, we get 2x. Not x, because that's what you guys made a mistake on a lot of times on the quiz. It's 2x is equal to 34 and divide by 2, so x equals 17. Okay, so 17 is one number, and then you plug it into one of the other equations. So we'll plug it into the first one. So 17 plus y is equal to 28. Subtract 17 from both sides. So y is equal to 11. So there's your two numbers, 17 and 11. Okay? Okay, 55. The mini auditorium can hold 61 people. We did tons of these problems during this chapter. Okay, if you forgot how to do them, I'll do one here, but go back and look at your notes, guys, because we did a ton of these problems. Okay, anyway, the mini auditorium can hold 61 people. Tickets to the math concert cost $4 for an adult and $3 for students. So we'll say x. Okay, so I'm going to say x is equal to adults, and it's really the number of adults. So total number of adults, and y is the number of students. Okay, so if I have 61 people, that just means x plus y equals 61. And it's $4 for an adult, so $4 for an adult, and $3 for a student, and I'm going to collect $224. That's the setup. Okay, and then it's just a systems of equations now. So you guys should be able to do this. I want to get rid of the y, so I'm going to multiply this one by negative 3. So I get negative 3x minus 3y equals negative 183. Okay, so that cancels, and I get x, because 4x minus 3x is just x. X is equal to 41. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking, it says how many adult tickets were sold. 41 adult tickets. If I asked you for the number of students, you plug it back into the x plus y equals 61, and you solve for x, you get x, or solve for y, and you get y is equal to 20. Okay? All right, so that's not bad. Gotta know how to do these though. I'm telling you, almost every single one of these problems on the review will be on the test. Okay? Okay, length of a rectangle. So the length of the rectangle is 8 units larger than the width. So it's 8 more than the width. The perimeter, which is 2L plus 2W, which is always that, is 32. Find its dimensions. So you're going to use substitution. You're going to plug that into that L. So it's 2 times L, which is W plus 8, plus 2W is equal to 32. So I got 2w plus 16 plus 2w equals 32. So 4w plus 16 equals 32. Subtract 16 from both sides. So 4w is equal to 16 divided by 4. So w is 4. So the width is 4, and then you just plug it back into the equation. So L is 4 plus 8. So length is 12. Okay, not bad. Okay, graphing inequalities. Got to remember shading. If it's less than, you shade below. If it's greater than, you shade above. So I'm going to graph it like a normal equation, 3, 4, 5. So put a dot there, and it's down 2 over 1. So down 2 over 1. It's a solid line because it's less than or equal to. If it was just a less than, it would be a dotted line. And then it's less than, so I shade below. So that's the answer for that problem. Okay. The next one, you're going to shade both of these, and where the shading overlaps, I'm going to use 2 colors in this, but when the shading overlaps, that's what the solution is. So again, I'm going to go down -6 and up 4 and over 1. Okay, so this is a dotted line. And I'm going to shade it in, it's greater than, so I'm going to shade it above. And then the other one is y-intercept of 1, and it's up 2 and over 3. Up 2 and over 3. So I'm gonna do this in green, even the line. It's a solid line. And this one is shade above as well. So I'm going to shade above as well. And wherever it overlaps, which is right starting here and here, this is all the solution to that problem. Okay? So that's what you have to know. Okay, cool. Oops. Sorry about that. A little extra line there. All right, so let's continue on here. Write an equation or inequality for the following graph. So now I'm asking you to write an equation. Okay, no big deal. So this has got you just have to get a y-intercept and a slope. So my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3. So that's b is 3. And the slope is down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's negative. So my slope is -3/4 for that one. So there it goes. Y is equal to -3/4 x plus 3. Okay, this would be easy. This is an x equals. It's a vertical line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. X equals 4. This is shading. The other ones are not shading. This is shading with a dotted line. And it's a y equals. So it's y is less than, not less than or equal to, and 1, 2, 3. There you go, because shading below. Okay. Okay, this one is y-intercept is 2. So b is 2. And the slope is, let's go from this guy where it crosses the x-axis up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. So the slope is, looks like it's 2. 2 over 1 or 2. So, and it's shaded above. So y is greater than or equal to, because it's a solid line, 2x plus 2. Okay, not bad. This one's no shading, so it's y equals. And the y-intercept is 1, so b is 1. And the slope is down 1 over 1, 2, 3, so -1/3. So slope is -1/3. So -1/3 x plus 1. Okay, not bad. Find the solution to the graph. You literally look where the point is. 1, 2, 3. This is 3, 1 here. So that's my solution. 3, 1. Okay. How many of the solutions does each of the systems have? Guys, remember, you can have 3 possibilities. Let me just draw all 3 of them. If they're parallel lines, this is 0 solutions. If they're the same line, okay, that means it's infinite solutions. And if they cross like this, any place, it's 1 solution. All right? So you just have to look at the slopes. and the equations. So if this one's already solved, so these are different slopes. Different slopes means one solution. I'm done. I don't have to do any work for this one. Different slopes, one solution. Okay? This next one, I got to solve this guy for y. So I'm going to, let me write out here, 3x plus 2y equals 12. And subtract 3x from both sides. So 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. Divide by 2. So y is negative 3 halves x plus 6. Okay? And so the slope is the same, but a different y-intercept. That means they are parallel, which means there's no solution. Right? Parallel means, looks like right like this. They don't cross. No solution. Okay, then the last one, if I solve for y, for the first one, here 5y equals x, divide by 5. So y is equal, this is, sorry, you should be working on the one above it. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. I'll have to do that one anyway. Okay, but if I solve for y for this guy, I'm just going to go quickly because I want to get going here, and it's late and I want to go to bed. Okay, so y equals 2/3 x minus 1, and this is y is equal to 2/3 x minus 1. If I solve both of these, I get the exact same equation, which means it's infinite solutions. Okay? Alright, so let's keep going with this one. I don't need to solve that. Okay, I'm substituting this in. So it's 2 times x, which is 2x is 2 times 5y, plus y is equal to 11. And I solve for y. So I get 10y plus y equals 11. So 11y equals 11. Divide by 11, y is 1. It's a little complicated, but y is 1. And then x, I just plug it back into that first equation. X equals 5 times 1. So x equals 5. So my solution is 5, 1. Okay, that was using substitution. This one's definitely using elimination. So I'm going to multiply this one by 2. So I get 4x plus 2y equals 12. And 3x minus 2y equals 16. So that cancels out. I get 7x equals 28. Divide by 7. X is 4. And then I plug it into the first one. So 2 times 4 plus y equals 6. So 8 plus y equals 6. Subtract 8 from both sides. Y is negative 2. So my solution is 4, negative 2. Okay? Getting there. If I ask you if it's a solution, you literally plug it into both equations. It has to work for both. Okay? So, again, just to save, well, here I can show you. It's 2 times negative 3 plus 5 times 2 equals 4. So it's negative 6 plus 10 is 4, which is true. And then if I plug it into the second one, negative 4 times negative 3 plus 2 equals negative 10. So 12 plus 2 is not negative 10. So this is not a solution. So the answer to this one is no. It's got to work on both. Okay? All right, that's done with systems. All right, so let's keep going here. The next one is, again, more recent stuff. Put in standard form and give the degree. Pretty easy. It's just the biggest exponent to the smallest, so 3x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 5x squared minus x plus 7. And the degree is 4. Okay? Pretty easy. Simplified, just combine like terms. 7x minus 8x is negative 1x or negative x. Negative 2y minus 4y is negative 6y. And nothing to combine with the 4. Okay? It's addition, so I'm just going to have 3m squared plus 2m plus 7 plus m squared minus 4m minus 6. Combine like terms. So 3m minus 1m is 4m squared. It's squared, I mean. 2m minus 4m is negative 2m. And then 7 minus 6 is positive 1. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one here. So when you have a negative, make sure you distribute that. So we're going to have 5x squared minus 3x plus 1. Distribute the negative to all three terms. Negative 3x squared plus x minus 4. And then combine like terms. 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. Negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. And 1 minus 4 is negative 3. That's your answer. Okay, this one you have to distribute, so just kind of watch when you're distributing. So it's negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. That's going to be y to the 7th. Remember, you add exponents. And then it's plus 4y to the 5th. And then it's plus 8y to the 4th. And then it's minus 6y cubed. Okay? This one's FOIL. 4x times 3x. Remember, it's different. There's a difference between this one and, let me just show you, and number 669. This is adding. Look for the sign in between. Okay, if that was 4x minus 5 plus 3x minus 7, you're going to add, but it's not. Okay, so if I FOIL this out, I get 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times negative 7 is negative 28x. Negative 5 times 3x is negative 15x. And negative 5 times negative 7 is plus 35. Combine like terms, 12x squared minus 43x plus 35. Okay. Now we get something definitely more familiar here, factoring. Last chapter. Okay, I'm going to factor so my greatest common factor is 5, and then x, and then y. Okay, those are the biggest, smallest exponents, x and y, and then the 5. So you can divide each of these by 5xy. So I get 5xy, don't forget to put that in front of it, and then I get x squared, that's it for that one, right? Minus 4xy squared, and then plus 2. That's it. Okay, the next one, greatest common factor is 5, so factor 5 out, I get 5 x squared minus 4, and you guys should recognize it's the difference of two squares, so 5 x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, if you need to do a factor box, go for it. X squared, negative 9x. So x and then negative 5 and negative 4. Negative 5x, negative 4x. So it's factors out to x minus 5, x minus 4. Okay, pretty easy. This next one is a little more complicated, but it's just a factor box, guys. So x squared, negative 6y squared, negative xy. So it's x and x, negative 3y and 2y. So it's going to give you negative 3xy, positive 2xy, which gives you negative xy. So your answer is x plus 2y and x minus 3y. Okay, 77, you're going to do greatest common factor first, and my greatest common factor is 3x. So you're going to divide each of these by 3x. And you get 3x times x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, and again, if you do a factor box, I'm just going to get going here. So 3x, that factors to x minus 5x plus 2. Okay. 78, we'll draw a factor box for this one. It's looking a little scary. 11x squared, 4y squared, negative 15xy. So 11x and x, and negative 1 and negative 4. That gives you negative 11, that's negative 1y and negative 4y. So negative 11xy and negative 4xy, which gives you negative 15xy. So again, you make sure you cross like this, right? So it's going to be 11x minus 4y and x minus 1y. And you're done. Okay? This actually is a difference of two squares. X to the fourth is a perfect square. So it's going to be a 4x squared here, and this is going to be a 3y. So when I do difference of two squares, I get 4x squared plus 3y and 4x squared minus 3y. Okay, and that's it. That's all you can do. Okay, this next one's greatest common factor. Factor an x out of here, so we get x times x minus 4, and you're done. What? Okay. Keep going here. This is difference of two cubes. So this is an x and this is a 2y. So remember, you're going to use SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So it's x and 2y. It's that first term squared, so x squared. The last term is going to be the 2y squared. So it's 4y squared, and then this is going to be the product of the two. So 2xy, and then you're done with the problem. Okay. This is sum of two cubes, so cube root of 27 is 3x. Cube root of 64 is 4. So again, we're going to use SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So 3x and 4. 3x squared, which is 9x squared. And 4 squared is 16. And then the product of those two is 12x. And you're done with the problem. Oh yeah. Okay, 83 is a little factor box guy. So 5x squared, negative 12, 11x. So 5x and x. And this is going to be 3 and negative 4. So 15x minus 4x is 11x. So x plus 3, 5x minus 4. Okay, that's it. Okay, solving, now you actually have to solve. So this one's already factored for you, so it's kind of nice. So 3x minus 5 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. So add 5 to both sides, so 3x equals 5, divide by 3, sorry. X is 5/3. So that's one answer, and then subtract 2 from both sides. X equals negative 2. So two answers. Okay, this one's again already solved, or already factored for you. So it's x equals 0 and x squared minus 9 equals 0. Well, you got to factor this a little bit more, though. That's x plus 3, x minus 3. So subtract 3, x equals negative 3, and add 3, x equals 3. So 3 answers, 0, and don't forget the 0, guys, that's important. Okay, 86, I'm going to do a factor box for this one quickly. So x squared, negative 4, and negative 3x. So x and x, negative 4 and 1. So negative 4x plus 1x is negative 3x. So it's x minus 4, x plus 1. Set that each one of those equal to 0. Add 4, x is 4. X minus 1 or plus 1 equals 0. So subtract 1, x equals negative 1. So there we go, 4, negative 1. Okay, before you can factor, you got to move that 14 over. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to get x squared. So I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. So x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. And if you want to do a factor box, that's cool. X squared, negative 14, and negative 5x. So x and x, negative 7 and positive 2. That gives you negative 7x and 2x. So it's x minus 7 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. So add 7, x equals 7, subtract 2, x equals negative 2. Okay, not bad. All right, a couple more here, almost done. It's a long video, but it's 100 questions. Okay, so I'm going to add 10x to both sides. So I get x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. So I do a factor box. X squared, 25, 10x. So x and x, 5 and 5. And they're both positive, so it's x plus 5, x plus 5. Equals 0. So x plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5, x equals negative 5. And that's it. X equals negative 5. One answer. I mean, you could do it again, but that's kind of silly, right? It's the same thing. Okay, move the 5x over. So 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x equals 0. Factor out an x, so x, 3x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. So if I factored the other part, the 3x squared, negative 5, negative 2x. So 3 x and x, and 1 and negative 5, right? So it's 3x minus 5x is negative 2x. Perfect. So it's x plus 1, 3x minus 5 equals 0. So x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1, x equals negative 1. And 3x minus 5 equals 0. Add 5, 3x equals 5. Divide by 3x is 5/3. Okay, not bad. Oh, look at that. Wow, I almost forgot. Woo-hoo! Also, x equals 0. That'll be on the final exam, guys. Okay, if you forget that x equals 0, it'll probably show up there and you'll forget it and you get it wrong. That's bad. Okay, but number 90, there's no x there. So literally, I ignore that 4. It's just 3x minus 2 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. So I solve, add 2, so 3x equals 2, divide by 3, x is 2/3. And this is subtract 1 from both sides. X equals negative 1. So negative 1 and 2/3. Okay, this one I factor out an x. So I get x equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. So add 4 to both sides, x equals 4 and 0. 2 answers. Okay, this is a little tricky, but you'll see a couple problems like this on the final exam. It says find the sum of the solutions. So you solve for first. You can do a factor box. It's already set equal to 0, which is nice. So x squared, 12, negative 7x. So it's going to be x and x. It's going to be negative 4 and negative 3. That's good. So it's x minus 3 and x minus 4 equals 0. And solve each one of these. So x minus 3 equals 0. So add 3, x equals 3. And add 4 to both sides. So x equals 4. So the deal is, don't give me those answers. They want to know the sum of them. So 3 plus 4 equals 7. That's my answer for this problem, 7. Okay? All right, chapter 6, the last thing we just did, math fans. It's lots of factoring and canceling. So I'm not even going to do factor boxes because you can do them. Okay? This is going to be x plus 4, x minus 4. And on the bottom is x minus 4, x minus 2. So x minus 4 is cancel, and then you're left with just x plus 4 over x minus 2. Okay? All right, 94, if I want to factor that, I'm going to factor 6x squared out of that. And I get x minus 6 left over. And the bottom, I get x minus 6 times x plus 1. X minus 6 is cancel, and we want to have just 6x squared over x plus 1. Okay, next one, I'm going to factor out of 4x. So I get x minus 4 there. In the bottom, I get 8x to the 5th. All right, so the only thing I can cancel out is this 4 and this 8, so that's 1/2. And then you have a battle between the x's, and the bottom wins by 4. So it's x to the 4th, and this cancels. So your answer is x minus 4, don't forget the x minus 4, over 2x to the 4th. Okay, not bad. Okay, perform the indicated operations. So this is kind of nice. The x plus 6 is cancel. Nothing cancels with the x minus 4 is an x plus 4, and this is an x squared, so that's gone, and this is an x cubed. And then it's 2 over 8, which is 1/4. So your answer is x cubed times x plus 4 over 4x minus 4. Okay, not bad. Okay, this one's division, so you got to flip it around. So I'm going to write it as x to the 5th, y squared over 2x times 4 over x to the 6th, y to the 5th. So the numbers can cancel. That's a 2 and a 1. I'm just going to multiply straight across. I could have done that canceling 2 later, but that's okay. So if I multiply straight across, I get x to the 5th, y squared, and then going across, I get x to the 7th, y to the 5th. Okay, and there's of course a 2 on top here. Okay, now we just do battle. So the 2's on top. The south wins with the x's by 2, so x squared on the bottom, and it also wins by 3 on the south for the y. So the answer is 2 over x squared y cubed. Okay, let's rewrite it. So 3x squared over x plus 2 times its reciprocal. So I'm just going to factor that right away. X plus 3, x plus 2 over 6x to the 4th. All right, x plus 2's cancel. The 3x or the x squared cancels with this. It just becomes a squared there, right? 4 minus 2. The south wins by 2. And then, again, let me show you if I don't do anything else, I just get 3 times x plus 3. And on the bottom is 6x squared. And then the 6 and 3 cancel, so it's just going to be x plus 3 over 6, oh sorry, over 2, 2x squared. Okay? Okay, 2 more, and then we're done. So this one's going to factor to x plus 2, x plus 2. And the bottom is going to factor to 2x minus 5. Again, you can do a factor box. 2x minus 5, x plus 2. Times x plus 5. So there's no flipping here. X times x plus 2. Okay, so the x plus 2's cancel. This other x plus 2 cancels. And that's it. That's all you can cancel. Okay, so it's x plus 5 over x times 2x minus 5. Okay, last one, math fans. I'm going to factor that top left, x plus 5, x minus 5, and then x plus 4, x minus 4. And then times, I'm going to factor out just an x, x minus 4. And on the bottom, I'm going to factor a 2, so you get x plus 5. Okay, so a lot of canceling, man. X plus 5, x plus 5, x minus 4, x minus 4. And that's it, right? So your answer is x times x minus 5 over 2 times x plus 4. Okay, that is all 100 problems in less than an hour. And so hopefully you guys are good to go with these problems. Again, you got to know how to do all the types of problems, because if you know how to do all types of problems on this review sheet, when you get that test, you'll be like, oh wow, I've seen all these problems. But if you don't, you'll be like, oh man, I don't know if I've seen this before. Okay, so you gotta do all the problems, guys. It's really, really, really important to be successful on this final exam. All right, that's it, math fans. You have an outstanding day, and I will talk to you later. Adios. Goodbye.